Hey guys, Abby Johnson here. So I had to report on this study I saw that was reported on in Glamour magazine. It was called the Turnaway Study. And if you didn't see it, you can go look at it. Although you can't really find a lot of detailed information about it, but you can sort of find the highlights. And it was basically a study that followed 1,000 women over a 5-year period. And they were trying to prove that women who had abortions do just fine after they have abortions, but women who are denied abortions, their lives are just ruined if they can't have an abortion. And so that was their premise. And that's basically what they reported in this study. So, sort of interesting, in the Glamour magazine article is that, one of the claims that sort of they wanted to debunk, I guess, was that women who have abortions will regret them. And so in the study, it says, we find no evidence that abortion causes negative mental health or well-being outcomes. Over 95% of women who had abortions told researchers both immediately and 5 years later that they had made the right decision. And so, people have asked me, well, what do you think about that? And I would say, I think that's probably right. I think most women within the first few years of having an abortion are probably thinking, whew, relieved, dodged that bullet, glad I didn't, have to feed another person or, whatever reason they decide to have an abortion. I think most women probably do feel relief right after they have an abortion. Obviously, what these researchers are actually what I think they do understand, and the reason that every single pro-abortion study stops at 5 years is because any sort of trauma specialist knows that trauma doesn't actually resurface or surface at all in a person's life until generally about 10 to 15 years after the traumatic event. They know that. That's why all of these studies stop at 5 years. You'll never find a study around abortion that follows a woman past 5 years, because they know if they followed them past 5 years, if they, started looking at these women, looking into their regret 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they know that they would find something different. These women wouldn't be relieved. They would feel regret. They would feel sorrowful about their abortion. So they stop at the 5-year mark. Look it up. Every single one of them stops at 5 years or before. But what's interesting is that they're saying that they did find that being denied abortion is associated with elevated levels of anxiety, stress, and lower self-esteem soon after abortion denial. But all of those mental health concerns decreased over 6 months after being denied the abortion. You know why? Because they had a freaking baby. Because they had a baby. So then they didn't feel stressed and anxiety and all this anxiety and feel, whatever, and feeling depressed because they had a baby. And they ended up being happy that they had a baby because they were blessed by their baby. Because nobody regrets having a freaking baby. That's why they were happy. Think about it, right? But of course, that's not addressed in the study. They just magically were oh, well, yeah, they were anxious because they couldn't have an abortion, but then they just magically weren't anxious anymore 6 months after the study. Oh, I wonder where that was. Oh, I can't imagine why their anxiety just went away 6 months after the study. They also talked about how women that were denied abortions were 4 times more likely to have a household income below the poverty line. And how they were more likely to be unemployed. They were more likely to, unlikely to be able to afford household needs, including food. What's really interesting to me here, and this is what we hear all the time from pro-abortion people, is women who can't have abortions, or if you force women to have pregnancies, they're going to be poor. They're not going to be able to, fund the children in their home. And so, like, their thought is, well, you know what? Then let's just start killing people. Like that's the thought. Like, oh, people are poor. Let's just start whacking them. What? That's not the solution. That's not the solution to poverty. Like, if they really care about people being impoverished, like if they care about these women not being able to provide food for their children, if they care about these women being in poverty, if they care about them, then why don't we build up programs to help them? Like, why don't they start helping then pregnancy resource centers who are actually reaching out and helping women? Why don't they start demanding that Planned Parenthood and these abortion facilities start, referring women for WIC if they don't want to have an abortion? Why don't they start stocking diapers and formula and onesies and all these other baby supplies in their centers, instead of just telling women, oh, if you're poor, have an abortion? Because a lot of these women don't want to have an abortion. They're having an abortion because they are poor. Like, killing is not the solution to poverty. That's never been the solution to poverty. Abortion was supposed to fix all of these societal ills that we had, going on in our culture. It was supposed to fix poverty and abuse and child abuse and all of these things that we had going on. But guess what? It hasn't fixed it. All of our problems have just escalated. It's gotten worse. So that's the solution. That's the abortionist solution. That's the pro-abortion solution. Is just when people are poor, we just start offing them. That's not the solution. The solution is that you surround them with resources. The solution is that you lift them up and you say, how can we get you a better education? How can we find you a certification program? How can we build you up? Let's build a community around you so we can help you. Like, what in the world? When has that ever been a solution? To just start killing people? That's never been a viable solution. So, this study, it just goes on and on about, how abortion is so great and women who choose life are so ridiculous and all this kind of stuff. It was really so incredibly condescending about this particular Glamour article. Is they said in here, look, here's the deal. The next time that, this is what it says verbatim, it says, the next time that you're in an argument about abortion rights, tell whoever you're talking to, there's no need to get emotional. They can simply read the facts. What facts? They're not even presenting any facts here. I would love to present the facts if they would actually give us facts. The only thing they're giving us here is emotional arguments. The only thing that they're giving us here is skewed facts. I would love for them to give us actual facts. But people who support abortion aren't interested in real facts. They're only interested in giving us biased information, which isn't facts. So, Glamour, if you would like to give us some real facts, if this Bixby Center for Reproductive Rights or whatever it's called would like to give us some real facts, I'm all ears. But until then, I actually don't really want to hear from you at all.